Hi everyone, welcome to the first webinar of a series of webinars and workshops conducted by TCS in lieu of the upcoming CIMA management case study examinations happening in November 2023. My name is Nick and I'm one of the lead tutors and evaluators for MCS at TCS. So let's look at the session outcomes which I'm gonna look into in today's session. So first things first, I'm going to provide an overview into the MCS exam, especially with the intention of ensuring that students who are coming through the exemption route will understand the technicalities behind the MCS exam and will understand what he or she needs to do when it comes to fulfilling preparations. Then in the second part of today's webinar, I will be providing a 7-week study plan, and if you stick to it, you can easily ace your MCS exam in your first sitting itself. So once I take you through the study plan, you'd realize that you need not do too much when it comes to preparations. Although the MCS exam is a tough exam, if you stick to our study plan, you can easily get everything done because we have made sure to take care of preparations or come up with study content which is extremely easy to understand, and this will actually help you with your preparations in the upcoming weeks. Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritties, let me remind you about the MCS webinars and workshops we are conducting aimed at the November sessions. So you have joined the first webinar where I'll be providing information pertaining to a study plan. Then one of the most important webinars is happening on Friday, the 22nd of September. And this coincides with your pre-scene release. Your pre-scene, which is relevant for November and February sessions, will be released on Friday. And on the same day at 18 GMT, I will be conducting a pre-scene analysis, thereby taking you through an industry analysis as well as highlighting the internal dynamics of your chosen company. And on top of that, I will also give you tips about what you need to do when it comes to bringing in information from the pre-scene, because if you do it properly, chances of you passing the exam is extremely high. So all these tips will be provided in the second webinar. I hope you'd join it. Then another important webinar is happening on the 7th of October, which is a Saturday at 10 a.m. UK time or 9 GMT, where I will be highlighting answering technique. You might be coming through an exemption route. If that is the case, you might have completed your master's or bachelor's degrees. However, CIMA is a professional qualification, and the way in which you need to structure your answers are totally different to that of an academic qualification. So you need to have a strategy when it comes to developing answers. And if you have a strategy when it comes to structuring your answers, then you'd manage your time appropriately as well. Because take it from me, most students end up failing the MCS exam, especially because they run out of time. So if you run out of time, chances of you passing the exam is extremely low. So if you want to manage your time properly, and if you want to come up with high quality answers, then you need to attend the third webinar in order to understand answering techniques as well as time management techniques. And in the fourth webinar, exam prep, I will be highlighting about what you need to do to develop a high level of confidence, because as per the CIMA examiner, confident students end up passing the exam comfortably. So I will be giving you some tips pertaining to how to develop a high level of confidence both before the exam as well as during the exam. And on top of that, I will also take you through examiner's comments, because it's of utmost importance that you understand what is requested from you by listening to the examiner. So all these things will be highlighted in the fourth webinar. And on top of that, I will also mention common reasons which leads to failure. And once I elaborate these reasons, then you'd know what you need to avoid if you are to avoid a failure. Then on top of that, we are conducting 2 live webinar workshops as well. So the first Q&A session is happening on the 20th of October. This is 2 weeks before your exam. So by this time, you should be done with at least 2 or 3 mocks, done attempting at least 2 or 3 mocks. Then you'd have questions to raise, and myself as well as Jared, our co-tutor for MCS, will be happy to help you guys out. And the final Q&A is happening on the 4th November, which is a Saturday. So by this time, you should be done with all your mocks, and I will be providing tips about what you need to get right, and what you need to do to have or to maintain a positive attitude, right before the exam, which is going to be extremely beneficial for you at the real exam. So all these sessions are conducted free of charge, and I hope you'd utilize these services to your fullest. All right, so let's look at the technicalities pertaining to the MCS exam. So students are coming from different pathways. So, first things first, let me talk about the students coming through the CIMA general route. So you'd find the MCS exam to be a bit easier compared to a student coming through the exemption route. Why am I saying that? Because you have done your OTQ exams. So, if you're coming through the CIMA general route, before attempting MCS, you need to finish your E2, P2, and F2 related syllabus content. So since you know the theoretical elements, you'd find it extremely easy to face the MCS exam. And on the other hand, there are a set of students coming through the exemption routes, and there are two main exemption routes: the Master's Gateway program as well as the Finance Leadership program. So the individuals who had completed their master's degrees will come through the Master's Gateway program. So although you have completed your master's degrees in your respective areas, you will need to learn theory, because the syllabus content, especially the syllabus content which are covered under F2 and P2 syllabuses, are not covered under general master's program. So you need to learn theory, and the same should be said about students who are coming through the FLP program. So most of you are coming through the FLP program to MCS, depending on the experience, corporate exposure you have. However, again, you need to learn theory. So students coming through the exemption route, in order to pass the exam, should definitely learn theory as well as improve application skills. But there's absolutely nothing for you guys to worry. I will tell you what you need to do to be in par with a student who is coming through the CIMA general route. Okay, so looking at the exam, this is a PC-based exam, irrespective of whether you attempt the exam at an examination center or whether you attempt the exam at home. Still, in both these instances, the exam is going to be PC-based, and the total time allocation for the entire paper is 3 hours. And your paper is divided into 4 main tasks, and the time allocation for each task is 45 minutes, and you need to achieve a pass mark of 80 out of 150, or 54% to pass the MCS exam. All right, so providing an overview into your exam, information is provided about a fictitious company in advance via something called a pre-scene document. So if you're coming through the CIMA general route, you would have done your OCS exam, so you know what I'm talking about. But if you're coming through an exemption route, this is totally new. So you need to really get your bearings about what is covered under the pre-scene document. So let me tell you about the content of the pre-scene document. Usually, an MCS pre-scene is based on a fictitious company, and based on this company, questions will be raised at your real exam. So I will talk about what type of a role you are playing later on. But if I talk about it right now, you are supposed to play the role of a finance manager working within this fictitious company. So if you are to play the role in an appropriate manner, you need to have an in-depth understanding about the internal dynamics of the company, because you are involved with decision making. So it's of utmost importance that you understand the internal dynamics, because if you do not know what happens within your company, you won't come up with the best type of recommendations. And on top of that, the same should be said about understanding the industry dynamics as well, because if you do not know or do not understand the industry dynamics, again, you'd suggest wrong decisions and ultimately end up failing the examination. So, these two main areas are covered via your pre-scene. It highlights the internal dynamics of the company as well as the industry dynamics. And on top of that, at the very end, the examiner will give you financial statements of your chosen company as well as its closest competitor. So you need to evaluate these financial statements in order to understand where the company stands in a financial sense, what type of shortcomings are there in a financial sense. Okay, and you have to compare this performance with the closest competitor as well. So these things, when I'm explaining these things, you'd think that you'd have to do a lot, but that is actually not the case, because the pre-scene document, based on the pre-scene document, we have developed something called the annotated pre-scene. So with the intention of ensuring students really understand the most important points which are highlighted within the pre-scene, we have developed something called an annotated pre-scene. So these are the type of annotations you would see. So as you can see, these annotations are a good summary of the entire pre-scene. So rather than trying to remember all this information, because the examiner gives you hordes and hordes of information, you need not remember all this. Instead, simply read through the annotations which we have made, try to remember them. That's all the necessary information which you need to have a good understanding about the pre-scene. So that's exactly what you can see here. Throughout the pre-scene, annotations have been provided. And on top of that, via these annotations, we are also highlighting probable theoretical concepts which can be tested, as well as probable scenarios which can be tested at your real exam. So although you need to be conversant with the internal dynamics, the external dynamics, as well as the financial performance of the company, your life is made easy because you simply need to go through this annotated pre-scene. Then you are a good summary is available, or a good summary is at your disposal. So it makes your life easy. And on top of that, the same should be said about the financial statements as well. You need not evaluate the financial statements. Instead, we have done it for you. So as you can see, the SOPL, the statement of financial position or the balance sheet, then the different types of ratios of your chosen company as well as its closest competitor. All these things have been, all these calculations have been conducted. And on top of that, all these numbers have been evaluated in a concise yet extremely understandable manner, so that by going through this set of slides, you can easily understand where your company stands in a financial sense. So, throughout, when it comes to understanding the ratios, we have compared between your chosen company as well as its closest competitor. So that's what's provided as part of a pre-scene document. So if you go through the annotated pre-scene as well as the financial analysis slides, you'd understand what what is covered under the pre-scene. And on top of that, we provide a set of pre-scene analysis videos, 4 videos in total, which covers the entire pre-scene. So if you watch these 4 videos, then you'd have an in-depth understanding about what happens within the company, what happens within the industry, as well as with regards to the financial performance of the company. So in the exam, you are required to address issues or questions relating to managerial aspects of the company. So since you are as I told you earlier, you are supposed to play the role of a finance manager. So as a finance manager working for this company, you are involved with management related activities of the company. So if you are to become a finance manager, as I told you earlier, you need to have a proper knowledge about the company as well as the industry. That's where the pre-scene comes in. So you need to have a good understanding about the information which are covered under the pre-scene. And on top of that, just understanding your pre-scene won't help you. you need to have a good knowledge of E2, P2, and F2 related syllabus content, because if you do not know theory, you cannot develop answers. Just because you know what happens within or what the type of information which is covered under the pre-scene, you can't come up with high quality answers if not if you do not possess the conceptual knowledge. So you need to be conversant with OTQ syllabus content or E2, P2, and F2 related areas, as well as all the information which is covered via the pre-scene document. Then moving on, let's try to figure out what you're supposed to do. As I told you earlier, on multiple occasions within this webinar, you are supposed to play the role of a finance manager. So as a finance manager, a higher level of application and practical thinking is expected for MCS. So you need to know your theories, because the theories are tested, as well as a finance manager, you need to be involved with decision making. You have to make recommendations to your superior. Usually you'd be reporting to the senior finance manager or some board member. So in such an environment, you are involved with practical decision making as well. So just because you know your theory, you cannot pass this exam. You need to have an understanding about how to apply theoretical concepts in a practical manner, with the intention of ensuring that your company overcomes some type of a problem or some type of an adverse situation. So that's what your role is. Then moving on, let's try to figure out what we're supposed to cover in the upcoming 7 weeks. Okay, so your pre-scene will be released on next Friday. And from that date until your exam date, you have something like 7 weeks. So you need to cover all these activities within 7 weeks. Okay, so first things first, you have to read the annotated pre-scene, because as I told you earlier, you need to have an in-depth understanding about the internal dynamics, external dynamics, as well as the financial performance of your company and its closest competitor. And after reading the annotated pre-scene, in order to further understand the nitty-gritties which are covered under the pre-scene, you must watch the 4 pre-scene analysis videos. So the 4 videos consists of an introduction, an industry analysis, an evaluation about company operations or the internal dynamics of the company, as well as it ends with a financial analysis. After doing this, you'd have a good understanding about the pre-scene. Then you have to start practicing mock exams. So you have to practice 5 mock exams. Why am I asking you to, attempt 5 mock exams? Why can't you attempt just 2 or 3? Because if you are to cover the entire syllabus, it takes 5 mock exams. You can't cover the entire syllabus. You can't cover all theoretical concepts which are covered under E2, P2, and F2 related syllabus content within just 2 or 3 mocks. It takes 5 mocks. So it's essential that you attempt 5 mock exams before you, attempt your exam, or else your chances of passing the exam is extremely low. Take it from me. I've been teaching CIMA for the past 11 years, and I've come across so many students who end up failing the exam because they think by attempting just 2 or 3 mocks they can pass. That is not the case. This is a tough examination. If you're not serious about your preparations, then you'd have to repeat your exam. Then you'd be wasting your time, money, as well as effort. Okay, so in order to avoid it, make sure to practice 5 mock exams. And you are supposed to attend the live webinars and workshops. As I told you earlier, we are conducting 4 webinars and 2 workshops. So throughout your preparations on a weekly basis, we are getting in touch with you, keeping tabs about what you are up to. So make use of these resources. Even if you do not utilize our paid content, since these webinars and workshops are free, make sure to attend them so that you have the ability to get in touch with a tutor and keep your preparations on track at all times. And you are supposed to refer to a set of slides as well. You have to go through the industry analysis slides, financial analysis slides, top 10 issues, as well as theory recaps pertaining to E2, F2, and P2 related areas. These theory recaps are essential because rather than you just have 7 weeks to prepare. So rather than going through pages and pages of textbooks with the intention of polishing up your knowledge or learning theoretical concepts, the best way to do it is by referring to the theory recap slides, because we have kept it simple and concise so that you can easily understand and learn or brush up your knowledge with regards to theoretical content. And let me show you the type of industry analysis cards which we provide. So as you can see, our industry analysis slides consists of four main areas. First things first, we provide an overview into the industry, thereby defining the industry. Then we talk about industry trends, the challenges faced by businesses within this industry, as well as at the very end, we provide information about two real life companies with the intention of ensuring that you understand what happens within this industry. So, market definition is there, then, the internal dynamics of the chosen industry, the segmentation, all these things, industry trends, all these things are covered. And at the very end, a real world example is provided as well, with the intention of ensuring that you understand the nitty-gritties about this industry better. Okay, then you are supposed to watch 20 pre-recorded masterclasses. Okay, so these masterclasses are actually conducted with the intention of teaching you the logic behind each answer which we have developed. So I said that we have developed a set of 5 mock exams. And why are these 5 mock exams? We have covered the entire syllabus, which is relevant for the MCS exam. And, especially focused on students who are coming through the exemption route, we have developed these master classes. So as I told you earlier, why are these master classes? We are discussing the questions and answers of each of the mocks which we have developed. And, whilst teaching you the logic behind each answer, we are teaching you theory as well. So you need not spend, time to learn theory in isolation. Instead, it's better to learn theory via an exam type question, because then you'd understand how theoretical knowledge is applied to a given scenario and what you're supposed to do when it comes to improving your application skills. So these things are covered. 3 things are covered via our master classes. We are, teaching you the logic behind each answer. And at the same time, we are teaching you theory. And on top of that, we ensure that you understand and improve your application skills. So OTQ theory coverage and application are covered via these master classes. So if you're coming through the exemption route, it's essential that you get your hands on these master classes. And at the very end, you are supposed to refer to the answer plans of mocks 1 to 5. No other service provider is providing this service. So you might be wondering what these answer plans are. So, if you had utilized services provided by us or some other service provider before, you would have seen the mock exam, and along with the mock exam, the suggested answers are provided. However, the suggested answers go on for 15 to 20 pages. So rather than going through pages and pages of answers, we've made it simple. We have created a summary, or we have developed answer plans for all 5 mocks. So then you'd easily understand how to structure your answers. You'd easily understand how theoretical content had been applied to the answer, how pre-seen information is brought into the answer. And on top of that, you'd easily understand, how the answer is aligned with the requirements which are highlighted within each mock exam. Okay. So these answer plans come in handy closer to the exam as well, because usually students, what they do is closer to the exam, they have to go through the suggested answers and develop their own answer plans or short notes. But you need not waste time in this area. Most students do not have a good understanding about how to develop short notes on their own. So in order to ensure your preparations are conducted in a foolproof manner, we have developed these answer plans. And closer to the exam, once you go through these answer plans twice or thrice, it's as if you are revising the entire syllabus twice or thrice. Okay, so you'd understand the benefit of these answer plans later on when I take you through the study plan which we have developed. And on top of that, you are supposed to refer to the personalized tutor feedback which we provide, and tutor feedback is provided from mocks 3 to mock 5. So let me show you the type of feedback which we provide at TCS. So as you can see, on a paragraph by paragraph basis, your answers are evaluated, and at the very end, if there are any issues, our tutors will highlight them as well. And mind you, when it comes to developing the mock exams, the suggested answers, the answer plans, as well as marking your papers, it's done by myself and Jared, the co-tutor for MCS. So most, service providers out there, what they're doing is they're outsourcing marking, they're outsourcing mock preparation and whatnot. We don't believe in that because we can't uphold the same level of quality which we expect at TCS. So with that in mind, our lead tutors and evaluators are going through your answer scripts. So there's absolutely nothing for you to worry with regards to the quality of feedback which you'd receive. So that's exactly what you can see throughout the answer script. On a paragraph by paragraph basis, feedback has been provided, and at the very end, your marks are shown so that you understand how you had performed on a subtask by subtask basis. So once you are done attempting a mock exam, and once you have received tutor feedback within 48 hours, what you need to do is over the weekend, you can go through the subtasks in which you have not scored enough marks and start practicing the dev practice or start practicing developing the answer plans on your own, so that you overcome your shortcomings and ensure a sure pass at your MCS exam. So these are the activities which you need to do. It's a long list, yes. However, if you stick to our study plan, you can get all these things done in a stress-free environment within 7 weeks. Mark my word, students who stick to this study plan which spans for 7 weeks end up getting more than 100 marks. You just need 80 marks to pass your exam. But our students who stick to the study plan and are serious will get all these things done within 7 weeks and end up getting more than 100 marks. Okay. All right, so before we move on to the 7-week study plan, let me quickly remind you about what we offer at TCS. So we are in the MCS page of our website. So you can access the free content by clicking on this button. So you'd get your hands on the recorded versions of the webinars. And on top of that, you'd have access to a mini mock, its suggested answer, as well as the answer plan via the free content. And if you are interested in purchasing from us, before you take your purchase decision, check out our sample material by clicking on this button. All right, so let's look at the courses which we are offering. First things first, let me talk about the essential package. So if you purchase the essential package, you'd get your hands on the recorded versions of the webinars, the 5 mock exams with suggested answers, and the 4 pre-scene analysis videos. And the package is priced at £119. So if you are a student who is coming through the CIMA general route, and if you had aced your OTQ exams without failing any of them, then it appears that you have what it takes to conduct studies on your own. It shows that you have been serious about your studies. That's exactly why you have not failed any of your OTQ exams. So if that is the case, you need not look into the other services which we offer. You simply need to purchase the essentials pack. Then moving on to the value pack, it comes with everything, all the material which are covered under the essentials pack. Additionally, you'd get your hands on the annotated pre-scene. You saw what the annotated pre-scene looks like previously. Then you'd get your hands on the industry analysis cards, financial analysis cards, the top 10 likely issues, and the case study familiarization kit. And you can have access to a tutor-managed live chat via Twilio as well. And you'd get your hands on the theory recaps of OTQ syllabus content, which is essential for you to brush up your knowledge pertaining to OTQ syllabus content. So the price is £199. So if you are a student who is coming through the CIMA general route, However, if you had failed any of your OTQ exams, then you need to go for the value pack because you need some type of additional support to ensure that you pass your exam comfortably. Then looking at the premium package, everything which comes under the value pack comes with the premium package as well. And on top of that, you would have access to the online mock exam platform or the learning management system. So when attempting each of your mocks, you can attempt them under real exam conditions, because when attempting your real exam, you have to do it via the Pearson VUE system. That's the exam platform provided by Pearson. And we at TCS, we have developed a similar exam platform with the intention of ensuring that you get accustomed to real exam conditions whilst practicing each and every exam. Take it from me, it's of utmost importance that you get yourself accustomed to real exam conditions, because when you are practicing mock exams, if you do it via the exam platform, you are in a position to practice answering technique and time management technique. As I told you earlier, answer planning and time management techniques will be covered in the third webinar. Just because you know your answering and time management techniques, if you do not practice it, you cannot implement it at your real exam. So in order to champion these two techniques, answer planning and time management, you need to keep practicing them whilst practicing each of our mock exams. So you can, when attempting all 5 mocks, you can do it under exam conditions. Then you'd get accustomed to exam stress as well, which is going to be extremely beneficial at your real exam. And on top of that, you'd gain access to professional marking and one-to-one tutor feedback on 3 mocks, namely mocks 3, 4, and 5. So our first 2 mocks, mock number 1 and 2, are developed with the intention of ensuring that you get your bearings with the MCS exam. And once you implement the answering and time management techniques when attempting the first 2 mocks, you'd understand where you go wrong, you'd encounter hiccups. And by the time you attempt mock number 3, you are in a position to overcome these shortcomings and come up with better quality answers. So that's exactly why we are providing feedback only for mocks 3, 4, and 5, because you need to have a good understanding about where you stand as a student in order to come up with high quality answers. And the premium package comes with answer plans of all 5 mocks as well. And you are in a position to attend the 20 master classes where we are explaining the answers of all mocks whilst covering theory as well as teaching you application. Then you would have access to the weekly webinars and workshops, and this comes with a monthly installment plan as well as a pass guarantee. So before I talk about what this pass guarantee is, let me remind you about the price of this package. It's priced at £649. You have 2 payment options. If you pay in full, you can save £50. So in such an environment, you can purchase the same product at £599. Or else, if you opt for an installment payment, you can pay this in 2 installments of £325 each on a monthly basis. And if I talk about the pass guarantee, you can simply click here and see what our pass guarantee is about. So our pass guarantee ensures that if you end up purchasing the premium package and failing the exam, you will have access to the premium package in your subsequent session free of charge. However, for you to claim the pass guarantee, you have to complete these activities. So you have to complete all 5 mock exams via the exam platform, because without attempting all 5 mock exams, you cannot pass the exam. And your solutions need to be original. You cannot simply copy and paste the suggested answers. I've seen students doing that. There's absolutely no point of copying and pasting suggested answers or going through suggested answers before attempting your mock exam, because you're not being serious and you're not being honest to yourself. If you want to really improve, you need to attempt each mock exam on your own, give your best shot. Then only you'd understand where you stand as a student, what your shortcomings are, and what you need to do to overcome each of your shortcomings. And you have to meet the performance criteria as well. you must achieve an average of 40% or higher for mocks 3, 4, and 5. Why are we asking you to get more than 40% marks? Because we want you guys to be serious. Okay, this requirement ensures that you are serious when it comes to attempting mock exams. This ensures that you are not simply attempting mock exams to claim the pass guarantee, but you are putting in some effort. Because if you do not put in effort, take it from me, you can't pass this exam. This is not an academic qualification, this is a professional qualification. So you have to be extremely serious about what you are doing. And to claim the pass guarantee, click on this button and you have to fill up the pass guarantee form. So if you are actually serious and if you stick to our study plan, you need not do the exam twice. You can pass in the first sitting itself. So all these products are available until the 28th of February 2024. So if you're planning on attempting your exam in Feb, you can purchase right now and start preparations way ahead of your exam. All right, so having said that, let me remind you about the important dates. Remember that exam entry for the November sessions are closing on the 24th of October 2023. So if you are to book your exam for the November session, you have to do it before Tuesday, the 24th of October. And the exams are from the 8th of November to the 10th of November. All right, so let's move on to the study plan. There a question had come in. So Tasneem, I will answer your question once I'm done with the 7-week study plan. I hope you are totally fine with it. Okay, so as you can see, the study plan can be accessed via our website itself. So you need not, develop your own study plans. Simply stick to this, then you can pass easily. Okay. So pre-course work consists of attending the first webinar, which you have already done so far, which is great. And within this week, until Friday, you are supposed to refer to the OTQ theory revision cards, because still, since the pre-scene is yet to be released, during this time period, it's better to brush up your knowledge in this OTQ syllabus content. And you are supposed to refer to the MCS familiarization kit, which highlights the technical nitty-gritties pertaining to your MCS exam. And things get serious from next Friday onwards, which marks your first week of preparation. So you are supposed to attend the second webinar, where I'll be conducting the first part of the pre-scene analysis, and it's happening on the Friday, the 22nd of September at 18 GMT. And you are supposed to, after attending the webinar, you are supposed to watch the 4 pre-scene analysis videos and then refer to the annotated pre-scene. And within the same week, you are supposed to refer to financial analysis, industry analysis, and top 10 likely issues slides. So as you can see, the first week of preparations are dedicated towards understanding the pre-scene. So once you are conversant with the pre-scene document, you have to start attempting mock exams. So from week 2 onwards, you have to start attempting mocks. So you have to attempt the first mock via the exam platform. And after attempting the mock, within 48 hours, you will receive tutor feedback, not for mocks 1 and 2, but for mocks 3, 4, and 5. So after attempting mock number 1 via the exam platform, you are supposed to watch the 4 master classes. And in these master classes, as I told you earlier, we are teaching you theory, we are explaining the logic behind each answer, as well as ensuring that your application skills are up to the required level of standard. So after watching the 4 master classes, you'd really understand what you're supposed to do as a student and what type of answers you were deemed to provide, and you'd really understand what your shortcomings were. And then you are supposed to refer to the answer plans of mock number 1. So these answer plans are a summary of the entire set of suggested answers. So simply by going through the summary, you'd understand how to structure your answers, how to bring in information from the pre-scene, how to apply theoretical content and whatnot. Then in week number 3, you are supposed to attend webinar number 3, answering technique. So as I told you earlier, answer planning as well as time management techniques will be highlighted within this webinar. So you might be wondering as to why we are suggesting you to attempt mock number 1 before we explain answering technique. I want you guys to give your best shot without having any knowledge about what you're supposed to do at a CIMA exam. Then you are in a position to really understand what your shortcomings are. When you are attempting a mock fresh without knowing what to do, how to develop answer plans, you'd know how much of stress you'd have to face and how much you'd have to struggle to develop high quality answers. Then after watching the after attending the webinar, you are in a position to better understand what your shortcomings are and what you need to do to overcome these shortcomings. So seeing is believing. So you need to see what your mistakes are. And after attending the webinar, you'd realize on your own what your real shortcomings are and what you need to do to overcome each of these things. So within the same week, you are supposed to attend mock number 2 via the exam platform, watch the 4 master classes, and refer to the answer plans. And in week number 4, you are supposed to attend the 4th webinar, attempt mock number 3 via the exam platform, watch the 4 master classes, and refer to personalized tutor feedback for mock number 3, then refer to the answer plans of mock number 3. So let's assume we are in week number 4. You attempt your mock exam on Tuesday. On Wednesday, you are supposed to watch the 4 master classes. Or by Thursday, you will receive tutor feedback because we provide tutor feedback within 48 hours. Then by Thursday, you'd really understand what type of a mark you have gained and what type of marks you have gained on a subtask by subtask basis. So on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, what you need to do is you need to revisit the areas or the subtasks in which you have not gained good marks. So you utilizing your weekend, you have to start developing answer plans on your own. So it's as if you are revising the entire mock exam once more. That's the best way to ensure that you improve the quality of your answers. Okay. So a similar approach needs to be stuck to in week number 5. And within week number 5, you should be done with mock number 4. And the first live workshop is happening with Jared within the 5th week, and it's scheduled to happen on the 20th of October. And in week number 6, you are supposed to attend mock number 5, watch the 4 master classes, and refer to tutor feedback. And maybe during the weekend, refer to the answer plans pertinent to mock number 5. And the 7th week is the week before your exam window. Okay, so within this week, you are simply supposed to refer to the answer plans of mocks 1 to 5, reread the annotated pre-scene, and attend the final Q&A with Jared. So you might be thinking that I'm stupid to ask you guys only to do these 3 activities before the exam. Take it from me, if you are relaxing before the exam, chances of you passing is extremely high. Okay, when all the other students have neglected studies and when they start to work their asses off within just 2 weeks or 2 weeks or a week before the exam, you are actually relaxing. Okay, so if you are to play your role appropriately, you are supposed to play the role of a finance manager. If you are to play your role properly, you have to be relaxed. So assume that you were under continuous stress during the weekend and you walk into office on a Monday. You cannot function properly. You can't think straight because you were up all night under extreme stress going through study content. Let's assume you were doing your studies during the weekend and you were up until late. If that is the case, you can't function properly as a finance manager at your office. So the CIMA examiner is trying to, via the questions, the CIMA examiner is trying to replicate a real life corporate environment. So you are playing the role of a finance manager. If you are to play your role properly, closer to the exam, it's better to relax. So I want you guys to finish attempting mock exams by the 6th week so that you'd have enough time to relax a week before the exam, when everybody else is going through extreme levels of stress, you are not facing a similar situation. Instead, you are relaxing. You are simply referring to the answer plans of mocks 1 to 5. As I told you on multiple occasions, our mocks cover the entire syllabus. So when you leisurely go through the answer plans, you are covering the entire syllabus. You are revising answer structuring, you are revising application skills. That's the best way to conduct your revisions closer to the exam. And by attending the final Q&A, you can brush up your knowledge in certain areas. And attending the final Q&A is essential, because in that we will highlight or provide you with tips pertaining to what you need to do to maintain a positive attitude, a positive mindset, or an open mind at your real exam. And you are supposed to stop preparations a day prior to the exam. Sleep, eat, and rest well. Why am I asking you guys to do this? Because let's assume your exam is on Wednesday. You have to stop all preparations by Monday. Tuesday in its entirety needs to, you are not supposed to go through any study material, not even the answer plans, not the what do you call it, the annotated pre-scene. Simply relax your mindset, because if you are relaxed, then you'd think freely, you'd come up with the best decisions, and that's the best way to ace your examination. So this is what you're supposed to do in the upcoming 7 weeks. So all in all, in a nutshell, on a weekly basis, your responsibility is just with regards to attempting a mock per week via the exam platform. So find 3 hours which you can allocate at a stretch on a weekly basis to attempt mock exams. Everything else is handled by us. So if you stick to the study plan, on a weekly basis, you attempt a mock, and it's just a matter of referring to the masterclass videos, as well as going through tutor feedback. If you want to do your own revision over the weekend, it's only about developing answer plans or answer structures. You can easily learn how to develop answer plans, because we ourselves are providing answer plans or sharing answer plans with you. So it's a matter of trying to replicate the structure which appears within our answer plan. So on a weekly basis, if you are being serious about studies, you just need to find 3 hours at a stretch. Other than that, everything else is handled by us. So I gave you an extensive to-do list, but all these things are covered within 7 weeks, and your task is just to practice a mock exam per week. Okay, so preparations have been made extremely easy. Our myself and Jared, we have put in our best effort to ensure that you can surely pass your exam. So there's no other study program which gives you this flexibility, where you are supposed to attempt a mock per week, and ultimately you end up passing the exam. So that's the pass guarantee which we provide. So although we tell these things, most students do not stick to the study plan. They start preparations a week or two before the exam. That's not the ideal situation, because if you try to do all these things, if you try to fulfill the to-do list, all these activities 2 weeks before the exam, you'd definitely run out of time. You'd be under extreme levels of stress. I know for a fact that you are not only involved with CIMA studies, you have to go to work, you have to attend to the needs of your family members, you might be running your own business, then you have to face the stresses created by your business as well. So you can't balance all these things and end up passing a competitive exam such as MCS comfortably, if you wait until the last 2 weeks. So start right now. I'm not asking you to do too much. It's just a matter of attempting a mock per week. If you do, you will pass for sure. So that's what our pass rate indicates. So if you look at the pass rate which we achieved for the February 2023 session, we achieved a 91% pass rate. And as you can see, the student gained 103 marks in the first sitting itself. So the student stuck to the study plan when attempting OCS, stuck to the study plan when attempting MCS as well. And in both the examinations, the student passed in the first sitting, and not just passed, gained more than 100 marks as well. So you can achieve a similar feat if you simply stick to our study plan and attempt a mock per week. All right. And let me remind you about the £50 discount which we're offering on the MCS premium package. So if you pay in full, you can purchase the package at a £50 discount. All right. Any questions, folks? So I've been talking for the past 50 minutes. It's time for you to talk. Any questions? Any concerns? All right, seems like there aren't any more questions. So thank you very much for raising your concerns or sharing your thoughts with us. And we hope you'd keep on, getting in touch with us on a weekly basis via the webinars and workshops which we are conducting. So you can contact us via our website, which is www.study@tcs.com, or you can drop us an email via info@study@tcs.com, or simply WhatsApp us via our WhatsApp number. And I urge you guys to follow us on our social media handles, especially YouTube and TikTok. So I actually forgot to tell you guys that we developed 3 TikTok videos each session, which is a good summary of the entire pre-scene. So we are covering the entire pre-scene within 9 minutes via these 3 TikTok videos. So the time duration of each TikTok video will be 3 minutes. So what you need to do is, rather than trying to memorize the most important points on your own, you can simply on a daily basis watch these 3 TikTok videos. Then that's the best way to keep yourself reminded about the most important points which you need to remember. So expect these 3 TikTok videos to be publicized once your pre-scene is out. A week after the pre-scene release, we will be releasing the TikTok videos, and keep watching them on a daily basis so that you constantly keep reminding yourself about the most important points. And on top of that, the recorded version of this webinar, as well as all the webinars and workshops which we are conducting, will be uploaded to our website, as well as you can access them via our YouTube channel. And please do check out our blog posts, which can be accessed via our website itself. So simply click on this and get your bearings pertaining to the technicalities of your examination. All right. So having said that, it brings us to the end of the session. So concluding thoughts are to approach MCS as an opportunity to learn rather than an exam to pass. So having said that, thank you very much for joining in. I hope you guys gained something out of this session, and I expect you guys to attend this Friday's important webinar, where I will be decrypting the pre-scene. I will be providing an industry analysis, as well as taking you through the internal dynamics of your chosen company. So thank you very much. Have a nice day, and hope to see you next Friday. See you.